Good evening, friends, and welcome back to Local Beats. I'm Abby Macphail.
And I'm Jack Gottsegen.
We've got a great show for you tonight, highlighting venues around Fort Collins,
what Rams are listening to on campus,
and finally, stick around because we have the scoop on all the shows coming to Colorado soon.
All of this and more starting right now on Local Beats.
Have you ever wanted to make a confession or maybe even write a breakup song that's Taylor Swift worthy? Well, the Mishawaka Amphitheater might have the thing just for you.
Mishawaka Amphitheater is a concert venue many of you have heard of, and General Restaurant Manager Gary Duvall says it's the best in Colorado.
I mean, it's an awesome, super special place. You know, it's like, my opinion, the best place to see a concert in Colorado. I mean, I would pick the Mishawaka over the Red Rocks, even before I started working here.
In addition to the Mishawaka being one of the most unique venues in town with a huge array of artists, it also has a new feature, a song confessional booth.
Well, it's pretty new, but it's a very cool concept. So you can go in and confess, and then the tablet that you confess onto is monitored. If you have something that stands out, the people who monitor it will give your confession to a musician. The musician will write a song about it, and then they have a podcast, so the song would be on the podcast.
But even when concerts aren't going on at the Mishawaka, it's still a great place to visit and hang out.
Even if we're not having a concert, like coming up on a Sunday afternoon and just hanging out by the river, and people come up, they'll come up, make a day of it. They come up and eat, and then they're here all day to, enjoy the Mishawaka.
The Mishawaka is such a beautiful venue. I would have loved to see Ziggy Marley perform there. Even though it's getting a little chilly out, I'm absolutely going to have to check out all the amenities they have there, just to hold me over until summer when I can go see a show. I love the Mishawaka. It's so beautiful up there.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool venue. Like, I've been there a couple times, and it's always just so beautiful. You got the mountains, you got the river. It's just a really nice place.
Yeah, I mean, going to see a concert there would just be insane, and especially having it so close to home, it's I think one of the best ones we have in Fort Collins, to be honest.
Absolutely. On November 5th, local rock band Hygeia played their debut EP release show. The young band played with the show with Loveland progressive metal band Author of Your Downfall and local metalcore band As We Rise. They've managed to capture an audience with their sound and playing ability at such a young age. Their set includes songs off their EP, an unreleased song, and a couple of cover songs. Hygeia is playing another show on December 8th at Washington's for the Sonic Spotlight Finals Showcase.
Now, I love road trips. What is absolutely key in making the time go by is a banging playlist. With Thanksgiving coming up, Jack and I took to the Laurie Student Center to ask our fellow Rams what they'll be listening to on their road trip home. What's up, Rams? I'm Abby Macphail.
And I'm Jack Gottsegen.
And today we are in the LSC asking you what your favorite road trip song is. So our question for today is, what is your favorite road trip song?
My favorite road trip song? Probably Home by Magnetic Zero and somebody.
Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you.
Late for the Sky by Jackson Brown.
Maybe the picture of somebody you're hoping I might be.
Lions by Darcy.
He's a crazy lion just a howling for a fight.
It really depends on where I'm traveling to, but Eastbound and Down is always a good one.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. We gonna do what this can't be done.
Favorite road trip song? Probably This Old Dog by Mac DeMarco.
These times come, and these times go.
I'd say Back to Black by Amy Winehouse.
You go back to her and I go back to
Mm-hmm. Take It Easy by the Eagles. That's a good one. That's one of my favorites.
Definitely, like, especially for road trips.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cruising.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. All right.
It's either All's Well That Ends Well by Rainbow Kitten Surprise or Big Papa by the Notorious B.I.G.
The colder the night, the warmer your hands hold.
That was so much fun. I love Amy Winehouse, so I was super pumped that she said that.
Yeah, there were a lot of really great picks from just everyone.
Yeah, we had someone say Turnstile, which I know you really like.
I love Turnstile. They got
And,
nominated for a couple Grammys, so
yeah.
shout out Turnstile.
Yeah, really, really cool to see what people are listening to and how much it varies across the board.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't go away just yet, Rams. When we come back, we have the latest concerts coming to a venue near you. Stay tuned.
Living with someone you don't know on the other side of the wall is hard, especially if you don't know how to be a good roommate.
The first thing that you'll want to do to be a good roommate is make sure that you always stay quiet. Be considerate of others when using common spaces and appliances.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna need like 40 minutes. Be respectful of your roommate's privacy.
Ugh, my bad.
Finally, make sure that you clean up after yourself. Oh, fresh toothbrush.
Have you seen my toothbrush?
Follow these tips to get along with your roommates and your landlord.
Welcome back from the break. Hope you've got your cowboy hats and dancing boots on. We're going to mosey on over to the Sundance Saloon and talk with outlaw country rock artist Callie Indiana.
Callie Indiana is an outlaw country rock artist originally from Indiana but now lives in Nebraska. Callie's love for music has been lifelong. It all started with her listening to classic rock with her dad.
He was a huge music buff, especially like Beatles, Elton John. So I always grew up with music in my life, and I think I first got started in church choir in elementary school, and I've been hooked on it ever since. And I didn't start singing on my own until I was about 16.
Country didn't enter Callie's palate until she heard the song I'm Already There by Lone Star when she was 12.
I really didn't listen to country music growing up except like Kathy Mattea, a little bit of Garth Brooks, but I didn't really think of them as country at the time. But I remember hearing I'm Already There by Lone Star on the radio when I was about 12, and that's probably the catalyst for why I got into country music, because that song it's all about a story. It's telling a story of a dad that has to be away from home, and he's telling his kid all the ways that he's going to be there when he's not around. And it just really touched me because I'd never heard a song tell a story so well in just 3 minutes before, and that's what made me fall in love with country.
Callie's main songwriting inspiration comes from strong women.
I really want to perform music and write music about strong female characters because I feel like that's something that's missing from a lot of country music. So that's probably what inspires me the most.
Callie's plans for the future involves more music and more touring.
2 new singles coming out that I recorded at Yellow Dog Studios, and it's kind of near Austin, Texas. And they've worked with a ton of other really talented red dirt country outlaw artists. So I'm super excited to see where those 2 singles go in early 2023. And then from there, we're just looking to take our career to the next level, hopefully get out on the road touring with another band, hit some more states. We're all over the Midwest and the Rockies right now, but we want to expand a little further, so looking to take the show on the road.
I've never been to a country show before, and it surprised me how much fun it was. The band even went into a cover of Dolly Parton's Jolene, which I loved. Now we'll turn it over to Abby with Colorado Concerts for some upcoming shows.
That's right, Jack. I'm back with Colorado Concerts. This is a segment where I get to check out artists who perform in colorful Colorado and give you upcoming shows you might want to check out. With that being said, let's jump right in. Now, I love interviewing bands from all over the country who get to perform here, but this is the first time I've ever chatted with an international artist. The Heavy Heavy is a band that hails from all the way From Brighton in the United Kingdom, inspired by 60s records like Joe Cocker's performance at Woodstock, the Heavy Heavy loves to create music that emphasizes bombastic rock and roll soul. This band said they're very excited to get back to songwriting after their travels in the US and really connect with other musicians to put their experiences into music. But what's their message to aspiring musicians? The Heavy Heavy says that once you decide on a sound that you love, commit to it and don't stop. Going to their show at the Armory in Old Town was awesome. Their music is truly captivating and is seriously the perfect fall soundtrack. Songs like Miles and Miles as well as Go Down River are absolutely on my playlist. In terms of other shows that are coming up in Colorado, we've got a stacked lineup. On December 6th, the 1975 is coming to the Mission Ballroom in Denver. From what I understand, concertgoers can expect to hear classics like Robbers and A Change of Heart, as well as songs off their latest release. I know I'm pumped for that show, so I recommend checking it out. For all the indie and Euphoria fans, Dominic Fike will be putting on a show at the Ogden Theater on December 13th. His Out of Order tour will make his return to concerts since his appearance in Euphoria as Elliot, and he will be performing songs from his 2020 album, What Could Possibly Go Wrong, that was released amid the coronavirus lockdowns. Finally, folk band Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats is taking over the Ball Arena with Marcus Mumford and Hermanos Gutierrez. Known for their 2015 #1 Billboard hit SOB, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats are sure to rock one of Colorado's largest venues. With that is all the Colorado news I have for you, but don't change the channel just yet. Jack Gottsegen will be back with his hardcore highlights, plus we've got all new music recommendations for this month. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back to Hardcore Highlight, keeping you up to date with all the local hardcore right here in Fort Collins. Last month, I mentioned what straight edge is, and I'm here to give you an even better understanding. And who better than a straight edge band and the pioneers of bringing hardcore to northern Colorado, Deadbeat. Since their start in 2019, Deadbeat have become a staple of northern Colorado hardcore. Billy Fabricini came to Fort Collins from California for school. While here, he met his bandmates, drummer Ryan, bassist Tony, and vocalist Zach. After getting them all together, they began the writing process.
So I had a drummer, I had a bass player, I played guitar, and I knew a vocalist, and I was like, I'm gonna make these guys meet over like a cup of coffee or something.
All of the members of the band are straight edge. Straight edge started out as a reflection of Minor Threat frontman Ian MacKay's opinion on intoxicants in punk rock. Since then, straight edge has become more than just a song. It's become a lifestyle.
I think a lot of people now, when they think of straight edge, they think of like people who slap cigarettes out of your hand outside of a show or beat you up for drinking beer at a show when a band happens to be straight edge. But all straight edge really is an individual life choice that you make to yourself.
Straight edge lifestyle is all about taking a stand against addictive substances like drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. In addition to Deadbeat, Billy also runs the Instagram page Hardcore in the Fort, a page dedicated to promoting the scene.
Luckily, there's so many live music venues in Fort Collins that I would just literally walk the street. I'd go to a venue, I'd go to the marquee, find the names, I'd go on Instagram or Spotify and I'd Google them and I'd see it. And I was like, man, everything sounds like Grateful Dead, everything sounds like Fish, and it's like, that's cool if that's your thing. It just wasn't my thing. And so Denver is a hotbed for hardcore, always has been. There's just something about like having class at 7:30 a.m. and not wanting to drive to Denver the night before to go see a band. So I knew the 3 other straight edge guys in town, we were going to start writing songs, and I felt like if I want to play these songs live, I should be able to do it in the town that we wrote the songs.
Billy looked through many venues in hopes they would let him book a show that would let teenagers in. The venue that would allow Deadbeat to perform was Pinball Jones at Campus West. Billy called up Wolf Blitzer and a Denver band called Tuck Knee to play the show with them. The show ended up being the 3rd highest grossing at Pinball Jones. What started out as a need to find and promote local hardcore has quickly evolved to become something more.
That was early 2019, so here we are. We've seen an explosion of new bands since then, so I'd say it kind of worked. It just seemed like there was a void missing in this town, and people really wanted it. And I just don't think at the time they knew they could do that. It was that easy. I don't think people knew. It wasn't just like me messaging random bands, so I would have a show that I could go to. Kind of exploded, actually.
This was a crazy full circle moment for me because I found out about the scene through Billy and Hardcore in the Fort. Just getting to sit down and talk was inspiring, to say the least. An important hardcore show is coming up. On Thursday, December 15th is Hardcore for the Holidays, a toy drive at the coast to support the Family Center of Fort Collins. The lineup consists of Suicide Cages, Wolf Blitzer, Ruckus, Watching People Drown, and Wrong Choice. This lineup is stacked and something you wouldn't want to miss. Well, Rams, that's it for Hardcore Highlight, but Abby has some more on can't miss events in Fort Collins. Abby?
Thanks, Jack. Over the weekend, the Fort Collins Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Wes Kenny, performed a piece titled Battle for the Ballot. Inspired by the passing of the 19th Amendment, this symphony was very timely for the midterm elections. And with that being said, let's take a look at the people behind this very powerful piece.
Hi, my name is Stacy Garup, and I'm a full-time freelance composer. So I am in residence for the week with the Fort Collins Symphony, and they are performing my piece, The Battle for the Ballot, for narrator and orchestra. So this piece came about because the Cabrillo Festival called me and said, we'd like you to write a piece about the passage of the 19th Amendment. And in talking with Christian Machalarou, who is their conductor, he wanted the piece to have narration. So I did a search for texts, and over a course of about a year, I ended up finding texts by 7 suffragists, 4 who are black and 3 who are white, that when you take all those texts together, you see the big picture about why getting the right to vote was so important to all these women back in the 1800s and 1900s.
The Battle for the Ballot, I think, is a really important piece, a very artistically composed and conceived of piece, and is particularly, I think, relevant right now as we are approaching an election day, and as we've seen some controversy surrounding elections in recent years. Battle for the Ballot is about the 19th Amendment, which of course gave women the right to vote. And along with this, you'll hear narrative from some of the most important suffragists of the time, and this narrative is woven into the music throughout the piece, which makes it very, very powerful.
This much, however, is true now.
And, you know, there are, of course, all the sayings that we talk about where music is able to express that which words cannot. The music that Stacy has fashioned around these wonderful texts, very expressive, very powerful at times, all geared towards enhancing the message.
I think we can all think back to different times in our lives, and we've heard music, and the music compels us and kind of motivates us and gets us excited. And I think that music is such a beautiful conduit to create something that maybe we can hear in a little different way, because it's being presented to us in a medium that doesn't get presented when you do an article.
To be able to feel music pouring through one's nervous system, the chills, the ASMRs, the soaring, the depths of the music, it helps us to remember that we are not alone, and we are not the first to have asked these questions.
When I was at a grade school a couple of days ago, I gave a talk for a couple classes about the suffragist movement. And one little boy raised his hand and said, "Do I have to vote?" And it was such a striking moment because after all these women fighting for 72 years to get the right to vote, and then to see for the next 100 years all the different battles that have gone on to keep the right to vote for people, to have this young boy ask that question, it really brought home to me that we can't take the vote for granted.
Listening to this symphony, you could really feel the emotion behind not only the music, but also the narration. Everything in it was so intentional, and the concert was incredibly inspiring. If you want to listen to it yourself, check out www.garup.com/featured-works/The Battle for the Ballot. Stick around because after the break, we'll be sharing our new favorite music recommendations. So stay tuned.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. We have gotten to the part of the show where we get to give you all new music recommendations. Jack, would you like to kick it off?
I would love to. So first up, we have a very high energy performance from LS Dunes. This is called Permanent Rebellion. So this is a post-hardcore supergroup made up of some of the best minds of the early 2000s. Right? You know, you got Frank Iero from My Chemical Romance and various other projects. You got Anthony Green, Seosin, Circuit Survive, Sound of Animals Fighting, 2 members of Thursday, and the guitarist of Coheed and Cambria. And it all comes together in this really just beautiful, like, really high energy punk rock song. Like, and listen to Anthony Green's screams on this.
Yeah, I love Frank Iero, and I loved My Chemical Romance. But for my next one, I am going to have to slow it down a little bit, more to my female taste. So this is Peach Trees by Barrera. I love female rock stars. My favorite thing in the whole world. I mean, check out her insane vocals. Very killer. I love it. It reminds me a lot of Grace Potter, and I love her. So
yeah, for me it reminds me a little bit of like that Black Sabbath kind of like heavy blues kind of rock style. Like it's just really, this is really good song.
And for our next one, we have Dissolve by Joji. Joji's an amazing artist. I think he's really talented lyrically. I think he's really talented with his backtracks. So I love this song.
Oh yeah, same. Like Joji is amazing as a musician.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going to slow it down also a little bit, but have a little atmosphere with Closet by Fleshwater. What I love about this is like it combines that shoegaze and post-hardcore together to create this like kind of dark, grungy sound, and like the vocals are just killer all the way through. Like songs are also fairly short, and then also just listen to like the drumming and atmosphere.
Yeah, very good song. And for mine, I picked something more fall drive related. This is Juniper Moore by Bendigo Fletcher. I love this song, very much driving through the woods, and how can you not enjoy this bridge? Very good. Very good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we have some local music with Trying by Neighborhood Watch.
I love Neighborhood Watch. It's so cool to see kids that I went to high school with end up making incredible music.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen them live a few times. They knock it out of the park with every show.
Yeah.
They only get better.
Amazing. They really do only get better. And with that, this is the breakdown. So, this one's a bit tension-filled. But the question for today is Harry Styles overrated?
You want me to start off and play some devil's advocate?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I don't think Harry Styles is he's not bad as an artist, but I think the problem for me is that he's put on this pedestal that's just above everything else. And I think that's a little I think he's just all right. You know, I don't think he's you can put an artist on a pedestal, but keep it kind of low. But where he is, it's very much he's all right.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I think that Harry Styles is someone who is so magnetic with audiences, and especially the demographic that he really appeals to. I mean, even in One Direction, he was clearly, at the forefront of everyone else. And I think that really kicked off his career, and his talented songwriting, his ability to create songs that can be enjoyed by almost everyone, along with his acting career, modeling career, numerous
I would hold off on acting career. But, he does have a magnetic personality. He's very charismatic, but, that's mainly for his demographic, and I'm not a part of that demographic, so I don't have, that much of a say in, how good or bad he is.
Yeah.
But, I still think he's very much put on this pedestal.
Yeah, I think he is so awarded in the music industry that it's very similar to artists that we've seen throughout history, where there is seemingly always one person that sticks out from a decade. I mean, if we're looking at the 60s, we're looking at Elvis Presley. If we're looking at the 70s, there's Led Zeppelin. I mean, there's always these people that are sticking out, and I truly think that Harry Styles has the grab and the pull to be that person for this era of music.
Yeah, I don't doubt that either. Well, Rams, it looks like that's all we have for tonight. Make sure to listen to our Spotify playlist, which is linked in our YouTube description, to listen to all the music featured on tonight's show.
Thank you for watching Local Beats. I'm your host, Abby Macphail.
And I'm your host, Jack Gottsegen. Have a good night.